The story starts on a stormy night at the Jiangqing University dorms. The rain's coming down in sheets, thunder breaks the silence of an almost empty campus dorm. Inside, our protagonist, Fanli, is chilling on his bed, scrolling through his phone. He's a freshman who decided to stay on campus for the summer to find a part-time job and help pay for his tuition fee. As he practices his spiel for tomorrow's part-time jobs, he mutters to himself, "I'm Fanli, a freshman at Jiangqing University." He sounds a bit bored, honestly. Summer jobs can be a drag. Suddenly, a flash of lightning illuminates the sky, blazing fast, and something streaks through the window. It's like a ball of light, almost like an electric orb. Just as Fanli is trying to psych himself up, thinking by motivating himself, "My life will change forever this summer," as if his words become a prophecy. This interdimensional orb thing decides to crash inside his room without noticing it. The orb floats over behind his bed and starts to change. It transforms into this swirling, electric portal. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Fanli, completely oblivious, is still glued to his phone. But then, the light illuminating from the portal catches his eye. He turns around and sees. Well, he sees the impossible. "What? What is this?" he says, his voice full of shock and wonder. You can practically see the questions written all over his face. He's totally bewildered. And who can blame him? One minute you're prepping for a part-time job, the next you've got an interdimensional portal gateway in your dorm room. Through the portal, he can see a lush forest. It's like a window into another world. Fanli, mesmerized, climbs down off the bed and cautiously approaches the portal. He's gotta know what's up. Is this a hologram? Or could it be an interdimensional portal? He wonders aloud. Hey, the guy's a freshman, but he's not dumb. He's seen enough movies to have a clue what's going on. But seeing is believing, right? So, Fanli does what any curious, and maybe slightly reckless, person would do. He reaches out and touches the portal. And guess what? His fingers pass right through. What the hell am I thinking? He mutters, still not quite believing his eyes. It's like he's trying to convince himself it's not real. But the portal is there in front of him. He takes a deep breath and steps through. And just like that, he's transported to another world. The air is fresh, and the forest is alive with the sounds of birds and insects. It's like stepping into a completely different reality. Fanli's face is a mixture of awe and disbelief. He's actually done it. He's gone through the portal. As he walks deeper into the forest, he stumbles upon a village. The houses are made of wood and stone, and the people are dressed in clothes that look like they're straight out of a history book. There are farmers tending their fields, women carrying baskets on their heads, and even a guy fishing by a river. It's like a scene from medieval Europe. Did I just travel through space? Where am I? Is this Europe in the Middle Ages? Fanli thinks to himself, completely overwhelmed by the experience. But Fanli's moment of wonder is cut short when a villager that is fishing on the other side of the river spots him hiding in the bushes. "Ma mimiemomu," the man shouts in a foreign language, alerting a woman nearby. Oops, busted. Fanli, thinking maybe this is just a friendly greeting, steps out of the bushes and says, "How are you?" "How do you do?" in his best English. He figures, why not try? After all, he's pretty sure he's in Europe, even if it's a few centuries in the past. But the villagers' reactions are not what he expected. They look at him like he's sprouted a second head. They're terrified. And then they do what any sensible medieval peasant would do when confronted with the unknown. They turn tail and run, screaming for help. Fanli, scratching his head in confusion, mutters, "Huh? What just happened? Did he say something wrong? Is his English that bad? And what kind of language they spoke?" He's starting to realize that maybe this whole medieval Europe thing wasn't right after all. The villagers, meanwhile, are running towards the village gate, shouting "Ma mimiemomu." It could be like a warning signal in their language we don't know yet. A guard on the wall spots them and signals for reinforcements. Suddenly, a group of heavily armed with spears and axe warriors emerges from the gate, accompanied by a ferocious dog with glowing eyes. This thing is huge, not the typical man's best friend, with sharp fangs and a wild look in its eyes ready to kill any trespassers. And they're all heading straight for Fanli. Fanli, seeing the approaching mob, freaks out. Adrenaline surges through him, and his survival instincts kick in. Holy shit! What are they trying to do? He thinks, his heart pounding in his chest. Are they really going to attack him just because he said hello? There's only one thing to do, run! He turns and sprints back towards the portal, the image of that terrifying dog seared into his brain. He's gotta get out of there. He leaps through the portal and back into his dorm room, gasping for breath. Lucky I leave first, he mutters, his voice shaky with fear. But he's not safe yet. Because that dog? It's seen the portal, and it's not about to let Fanli escape that easily. As Fanli watches in horror, the dog charges towards the portal, its growls echoing that even pass through the room. It's getting closer, and then it jumps. Fanli is paralyzed with fear. He can't believe this is happening. This whole portal thing is real, and it's brought a glowing-eyed monster dog into his life. This is a big problem, he thinks, his mind racing. How do I close this thing? He's desperate. He tries everything he can think of, from shouting close sesame, abracadabra, while waving his hands like a crazy person. Nothing works. Why aren't you closing, damn it? He yells, his voice cracking with desperation. The dog is inches away now, its fangs bared. Fanli can feel its hot breath on his face. This is it. This is how I die. Eaten by a demon dog from another dimension in my own dorm room. But just when all hope seems lost, Fanli accidentally grabs the edge of the portal and tries to pull it closed. And then, something amazing happens. The portal reacts to his touch. It's like a giant zipper, and he's pulling it shut. Electric sparks fly from his hands, but he doesn't care. He's closing the portal. The dog is almost on him now, its teeth snapping just inches from his face. It's a terrifying, heart-stopping moment. But Fanli doesn't give up. He keeps pulling, fueled by pure adrenaline and fear. With a final, desperate yank, he closes the portal. An electric snap sound echoed. The dog vanishes, and the portal collapses in on itself, transforming back into that glowing orb. Fanli collapses onto the floor, exhausted and shaken. He stares at the orb, still hovering in the air, and all he can say is, "What the hell is this?" Fanli back in his dorm room, safe but forever changed by his encounter with the portal. What started as a boring summer job search has turned into a life-altering experience. And the question remains, what will happen next?